We talk about connecting with the power greater than ourselves. All you have to do to be a religious person, a spiritual person, is to be so incredibly grateful with life. There's no more religious thing you could possibly do than to develop true gratitude for existence itself. And so we're on this return to self. Nikki Myers, I mention it all the time. She coined this term, the disease of the lost self, codependency, the disease of the lost self. We've left ourselves. We can't find ourselves. Maybe we never knew ourselves. And so in this codependent healing process, we are rediscovering. Welcome to Thursday night satsang here at Recovery 2.0. High point of my week. Truly. Usually, but particularly this week, I'm glad to be here. I feel really, really delighted to see your faces and to get to sit with you in circle as we do. So this word satsang, I just want to go over it again. I know that most of you know what it means and the spirit behind it. But I love, just for the people that might be watching this who are not familiar with satsang, that we can just quickly review it. This is a very special Sanskrit word that brings together two words, sat. Sat can be translated simply as truth. Also, that which is. That which is. Sat. That which exists, that which is real. Sang, the second part of the word, is a shortened version of sangha, or community. So satsang literally means community gathering near the truth. A community of people committed to the truth. A community of people committed to seeing more clearly that which is a nice way of putting it. And that's what we are. We are that community. In the days before the internet and digital video and this interface that we have between us here, I'm speaking hundreds or thousands of years ago, even decades ago. This concept of a satsang plays a significant role in the spiritual path, in the Eastern spiritual tradition, that dating back, 2,500 years or so, 2,300, 2,400, to the time of Buddha, the teachings are coming down of the three jewels, the three things that are necessary for us to move forward along a spiritual path. The Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. The Buddha being, you could think of the Buddha as the energy of wisdom. So wisdom is important in our tradition. Our tradition, the tradition of recovery and discovery, that's our tradition. Our tradition is the tradition of truth seeking and truth finding. Truth embodiment, that is our tradition. And in this tradition, we recognize these three jewels. Wisdom in the form of the Buddha. The Buddha and wisdom come in many forms in our lives. Each of us. We experience wisdom in nature. We experience wisdom through the written word. We experience wisdom through the spoken word, through other human beings. And we can experience wisdom in the silence of meditation. The wisdom that comes to us from the greater field of intelligence around us. And so we have wisdom that's coming in many, many forms. And so that's the Buddha. And the Buddha is here with us. The energy of wisdom is here with us anywhere we gather in an effort to move closer to the truth. Just our intention, just the intention, brings the Buddha present. Then there's the Dharma. The Dharma is the way. Think of it like the pathway. We need a path to follow. So there's wisdom, and then there's the path to live into that wisdom, to walk the path of wisdom in this life. So we need the wisdom in the form of a teacher, however that comes to us. We need a path to walk, to live, and to embody that wisdom. And then the Sangha, the community of people dedicated to the path, dedicated to the truth, dedicated to the wisdom. So here, satsang, sat, sangha, sangha, community of truth, community seeking, community finding, walking that path, opening ourselves up to wisdom in all of the ways that it communicates with us in our lives. This is what our effort is here. And we all are coming on Thursdays with earnestness to seek and to find, to show up with intention, and to tap into that energy of wisdom that's here, the energy of truth that's here, the energy of humility in seeking truth. And of course, love. The love we have for each other, the honoring we do of each other's effort in this world. That we show up for ourselves, of course, and we also recognize each other. We show up for each other. We take our spot in the sacred circle. We claim our spot. We desire, our heart brought us here. We desire to be here. This is our choice. We're not here because we were forced to or feel obligated to. We're here because our heart said so. And we listened. And we are also here because each other's hearts said so. And we wanted to show up for the Sangat, the Sangha. There's a wonderful, beautiful quote. A beautiful quote from, I think it's Jap Sahib, which is a chant from the Sikh tradition. A very special Gurbani, that Gurbani mantra, very special mantra. And in English, it is, Kundalini is rising in the Sat Sangat. Kundalini is rising in the community that dedicates itself to truth. And I just love that. Kundalini representing that. It's that the image, the symbol of the serpent making its way up from the base of the spine, up, that Kundalini energy representing our potential, representing our power of awakening and our power of awareness. So the Kundalini is rising in the Sat Sangat. I just love it so much. I love it so much because it is resonating within me as true. That our energy, our potential energy is rising when we come together in this sacred way. So with all of these things in mind, let us do a few centering breaths. Just 5 very long and slow, very slow, deep breaths together will allow the eyes to close. Sit up tall. Allow yourself this moment. Shake it off. Shake off the day. Sometimes the day has been so much that I have to make a have to get rid of it. So let's let it go. Close the eyes. Relax the shoulders. And through the nose, in and out, begin to draw out a very even, steady, and long and slow and deep breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale, coming fully present in this space. Exhale, releasing all the tension, all stress. Inhale. And open the mouth and just gently sigh it out. And come with the eyes open. Okay, beautiful. Well, good evening, everybody. What a delight. So what is on your heart? And what is on your mind? What's coming up? What questions are arising for you as you walk your unique path of discovery? Questions about recovery. Questions about the 12 steps. Questions about religion or spirituality. Questions about yoga, meditation. Questions about our world today. Things that you're seeing, noticing. Something perhaps has bothered you. Something got under your skin. Whatever comes to mind, let it arise. And our first person tonight, I see Leslie.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. Really lovely to be here tonight. Something that I've been exploring and curious about has to do with my exploration of my codependent patterns. And what I'm curious about is the role of empathy in codependency, kind of where it seems like there may be some intersectionality, overlap, or not. I feel like, well, I know I'm very empathetic and can easily take on other people's feelings. And I know that that is a codependent, unhealthy dynamic for me at times. But I'd also really like to find a way to celebrate that empathy and use that kind of in a healthier way than what I have been. Yeah.
Thank you for the inquiry. What a beautiful inquiry. And what an important topic. So, light and shadow. Light and shadow. The question has been asked before. Do you know anyone who's codependent? And the answer is, oh, you mean the most heartfelt people you've ever met? Yes, I know so many of them. Light and shadow. Same side of the coin. Same coin, different sides of the coin. So we are looking at this concept of codependency, which can be defined in so many different ways and looked at in so many different ways. And we can benefit from an inquiry into codependent behavior. Behavior which we are going to say is simply behavior which moves us away from the truth, rather than towards or in our truth. So behaving out of alignment with what is true for us. Acting inauthentically, saying things that we say them and immediately, if you have the awareness, you feel, that's a little bit out of alignment with me. I don't like what I just said. I don't like what I just did. Behaving in ways that are geared towards having someone else's approval rather than being in integrity. That's a learned behavior. That's a learned behavior. I learned that behavior at a very young age. I do believe that there was a day, I don't remember the exact day, but I do believe there was a day where I began to behave in order to have the approval of someone rather than to remain in connection with and in integrity and authenticity with myself. And I believe that when I received that approval, that reinforced that behavior, and I was often running down decades of this behavior, which I trained myself into. So that's the first part of this. So that step away from authenticity is a step away, a distancing from my true self, that which is true. Also, to leave one's true self, to leave one's consciousness, to separate from awareness, to leave this authentic place, is also to disconnect from our higher power, not just from our true self, but to distance ourselves from higher power, the greater divine consciousness around us. You could think of it, atheists could think of it as a greater bandwidth of information available to anybody. So this return, this recovery, this return to authenticity and this return to integrity is the healing. And sometimes it takes a little while for us to train ourselves back into authentic ways of being for us. We may not even realize what we're doing for a few decades, like me. I'm a slow learner. Maybe I really came upon an understanding of my own codependency in my late 40s. Not kidding. I had ideas about it earlier, but like layers of the onion, coming to deeper and deeper understandings, and then really like having an awakening back into myself and loving it so much that then I knew all I have to do is train myself to be here now, because this is so delightful. Now that I've found me or refound me, this is so delightful that I just want to be here now. And so I spend the time each day to be just here now. And there's something really beautiful about that as I'm falling in love. To fall in love with oneself, one's true self, is to fall in love with God. To fall in love with one's true self is to fall in love with spirit, to be connected with the greater spirit. We talk about connecting with the power greater than ourselves. All you have to do to be a religious person, a spiritual person, is to be so incredibly grateful with life. There's no more religious thing you could possibly do than to develop true gratitude for existence itself. And so we're on this return to self. Nikki Myers, I mention it all the time. She coined this term, the disease of the lost self, codependency, the disease of the lost self. We've left ourselves. We can't find ourselves. Maybe we never knew ourselves. And so in this codependent healing process, we are rediscovering. The light side of the coin of codependency is empathy, the word you used in your inquiry here. Empathy, sympathy, compassion, kindness, loving, your loving nature. Empathy, the ability to share an emotion with somebody, to recognize in the room and feel it. The sad person, the angry person, the happy person, the elated person, the jealous person, you name the feeling. You can sense into that. That's a gift. The management of that gift is part of the query here. The management of the gift. But definitely see it as a gift, not a curse. The management of empathy, the management of sensitivity, meaning you have great ability to sense what other people are experiencing. The ability to sense and to remain in your center is the light side of that coin. Meaning, you know what's yours and you know what's theirs. You can observe. You can make a decision about the gift that you have. In any given situation, you can make a decision in that moment. There's something I can do here. I'll give you a very simple example. When I go to, for example, a 12-step meeting, a live in-person meeting, and somebody walks in and they look like nervous about being there or uncomfortable or rough around the edges, I'll make a point to go up to them. I'm using my empathy. It's not as perhaps a refined empathy as what your ability is. But in that moment, I can tell, wow, that's a person who could benefit from somebody going up. And I can decide in that moment with my gift, I'll put my hand out to that person and say hello. I could also decide with my gift, I need to stay contained within myself. I'm interested in this person's well-being. I can feel that they're struggling. I'm not going to take on their struggle. I'm going to mirror for them what it looks like to be victorious over the struggle that they're facing now. I have to recognize that I am vulnerable to the energies of other people. And because I know that about myself, and I'm speaking honestly and openly about my own vulnerability here. I know that I'm vulnerable to the energies of other people. And since I know that, I keep an awareness of my own comfort or discomfort in any given situation. And I've been working for a long, long time on intuitive capabilities. What's right for me here? I believe you want to help. I believe you're somebody who has that gear. You're in the gear of wanting to help. And that's a beautiful thing. And so you will have to use your powers of intuition to understand where and when that's appropriate, based upon your gift of empathy. When it's appropriate to show up. When is it right for me, in integrity with me, to extend myself to someone or not? And it will depend a lot upon how you experience your own codependency. Meaning the tendency to leave yourself and to step out of your own truth and your own integrity in order to do something. We really never want to do that. And we all have done that. And we all still do that sometimes. Sometimes we even do it knowingly. I have done things, for example, in recent days, weeks, or months, where I said to myself, I'm pretty sure this is going to end in tears. However, I feel compelled because of who I am to see this through. And so I know I'm going to learn something one way or the other. So sometimes you go there knowingly. But absolutely, there's an interesting inquiry here about empathy and codependency. I really like, though, looking at the bright side of the coin, the light side of the coin of codependency, which is interdependency. We are interdependent beings. And interdependent relationships are based upon authenticity and integrity. And so on a case-by-case basis, we will need to show up in the world the way the world is asking us to show up, to the best of our ability, in ways that feel appropriate. We do not put ourselves upon anyone else. We generally don't help other people unless they ask us, unless with a skill and a capacity like empathy, we determine that somebody really needs, if I was going to wait for a newcomer to ask me to shake their hand, I'll never shake anyone's hand. So we have to work within the bounds of sort of the situation that we're in. Definitely see your empathy as a gift. Recognize the vulnerability to the energies of other people. Recognize that your own practice, your own sadhana, your own protective mantras, if you will, that protect your heart and protect you, even just the awareness of, the words are, protect me as I seek to be in integrity with myself. Protect me as I seek to be in integrity with myself and to serve and honor the call of this moment, whatever that might be. Those are the initial thoughts that come up for me. What comes up for you in listening to this exploration, Leslie?
Wow, thank you for that very, very thoughtful exploration. It sounds like, it feels like what's resonating with me is it really comes back to integrity, alignment, because that, as you were talking about that, I just saw that can shift, that what's in integrity in this moment for me, within this situation, within this context, within the need that's being felt, or maybe not even need, whatever it is that's being felt, which is a lot of times. And sometimes that need is to be protected. Sometimes that need is just to reach out, and that will reveal itself with what's in integrity for that moment. So I feel like everything comes back to the moment. It's really beautiful. Thank you.
Lo and behold, so it does. Thank you, Leslie, so much for your inquiry. Grateful.